Today, let's talk about using models, model releases, property releases to diversify your stock media portfolio. If you just shoot wildlife, landscapes, cityscapes, and things like that, you're going to have a good portfolio. But you need to diversify it, and to do that, you're going to need to add models to your portfolio. You're going to have model shoots for commercial use. Today, we're going to talk about how to do that. When you add models to a shoot, it adds complication. You've got to have releases, and you've got to plan it out a little bit better. But it's worth it because the sales for those can be really good over time. The easiest way to get started is to film yourself. And to do this, all you really need is a tripod. If you have something else that you might use that could follow you, like a drone with a follow mode or a gimbal with a follow mode, that's what I'm doing now. Is I'm using a slider that is following me as I talk to it. So there's different ways that you can film yourself to make it really look dynamic. But the easiest way, honestly, is to just use a tripod. Set a tripod up, set the scene, hit record, and then get in front of the camera. When you do that, you're going to need a camera that has good autofocus. That's the best way to do it when you're a solo creator. If I were shooting this as stock instead of just as a YouTube video, I would set it up the same way, except that I would have some scene or some theme that I would be doing, like maybe I would be reading or baking or fixing something in the garage. I would have some theme to what I'm doing, but I would set it up much the same way that I'm setting it up just now. It's just me and a camera. The only difference would be that I wouldn't be talking straight to the camera. One thing I do is use family and friends. To do that, you just need to make sure that it's okay with them, that they understand that they may end up on a commercial, a YouTube channel, a training video, even a movie. And for most people, they're okay with that. And if they are, and they feel comfortable being on camera, then use family and friends. Just tell them what you're doing, explain to them, and ask them if they'll help you out. I've done that a lot and had some good success doing so. I have also even asked people I don't even know to sign a model release. Now, you may think this is really awkward, but I've never had anyone get angry about it. I've had some people say, I'm not sure I want to do that. And I say, okay, then no problem. But if you see somebody, maybe you're at a beach and they're getting ready to surf, and you say, hey, listen, I would like to film you doing this. I'm a stock video creator. Here's what I do. Here's the kind of media I produce. Here's what I do with it. Would you mind signing a release and let me film you while you're surfing or whatever it is the person's doing? And oftentimes they'll sign that release. A lot of times they'll say, I'll sign the release if I can have copies of the video. And that's another good thing you can do. You can offer to film people, give them copies of the video so they can use it on their own social media or for their business or for their website. And for that, you also say, in return, please sign a release for me. And here's what I'm going to do with it. That's a good way to get people to do it. And I've never had this turn out to be like a weird situation. I have had, on the vast majority of times, people are willing to sign a model release and willing to let me use what they have. If you have a shooting job, don't hesitate to add a model release to it. In other words, a local business asks you to come in, let's say it's a bakery, and shoot their cooks, their chefs making something so that they can use it for a commercial or for their social media campaign or whatever it is, and you have a gig doing that. While you're at it, have them sign a release. Tell them that this is a side thing that you do. This is how you maximize your profits. You also sell the media, the pictures, the video to stock agencies. And would you mind signing a release while we're doing this? That way you get both paid for the gig and you get paid for the videos or the footage that you might sell on stock. Now, you can also say, I'd like to film your business. I'll give you the video for free, but in return, I'd like a property and I'd like model releases for the people in it. That can be a good way to get to do things as well. It's a good way for both people to profit from what you're doing. There are some big-time stock media producers who hire models and plan out shoots. I'm not one of those people. I don't think I have the expertise to do that, and I don't have the monetary backing to do that. What they do is they research a niche. They find out exactly what kind of shoot they want. They have an idea of what's going to sell. They hire the actors. They set the scene. They shoot a series. I'm not at that level. I don't know that I'll ever be at that level. And the problem that I have with it is that I don't want to put out some money ahead of time, not knowing if my stock is going to sell or not, and not knowing if the sunk costs of paying the actors was worth the stock that I'm getting out of it. But there are people at that level who do that. And that's something that perhaps we all could aspire to. I also have some tips for you. First of all, get releases signed before you do any filming. There's nothing worse than doing all the filming, getting everything ready, putting all your hard work into it and your time, and then the person decides they're not comfortable with it, or they don't want to sign a release, or they just don't you lose track of them. They just don't, you don't get around to signing the release. You basically just wasted all your time. So get the release first. Make sure that's in the bag before you start. Make sure you check for logos and brands. I like to wear shirts like this that don't have any logos, no Nike or anything like that on it, no branded objects anywhere around. That will ruin your stock production because they won't be accepted. The agencies won't accept anything that has brands or logos on it. So be careful about that. Now, what you can do is you can have some extra shirts and hats and sweaters around. So that if somebody has a logo that you can't cover up, maybe you could put a sweater on or have them change a shirt, put a different hat on, something like that. One time I asked my grandson, just take your hoodie and turn it inside out, wear it that way. And that ended up working for that shirt. That wasn't elegant. It's not the best thing to do, but at least it worked for that shoot. Look for diversity. Try to get people of different nationalities, different ethnicities, different age groups. You want to get the more diverse your portfolio is, the better it's going to sell. People are always looking for all kinds of people for all kinds of shoots. In this same vein, look for different emotions within the same scene. So have a clear concept in mind, set it up. I did a shoot where I was doing my taxes. And in one scene, I would be frustrated with the taxes, looking for my receipts, having a computer out, trying to figure out how to put them in. In another scene, I acted elated, like I just found a major deduction that I could put on my taxes. In another scene, I acted frustrated with the whole system, with putting in the paperwork or not knowing how to do it, confused with the process. And in another scene, I was doing it somewhat methodically, like I was an accountant or a CPA or something. The point is, I set up one scene, but I used different types of emotions to have different kinds of clips that I could quickly shoot in 12-second increments with different emotions or different settings. You can also do different distances, one far, one medium, and one close. Do a diversity of shots within your model shoots. Next tip, don't forget to do a series of clips that one buyer might purchase to create a commercial or some other project that they're doing. So that one buyer might buy 5 or 6 or more of your clips that are on the same topic using the same models on the same issue. That can be a great way to increase your sales. You might have and I've had this happen, where one day I'll open up my email and I've got 5 sales from the same shoot. Well, then I know they're from the same buyer who's using them for a project they have. Now, this next tip will sound a little bit contradictory to the one I just gave you. When you shoot a series of clips, don't submit all of them at one time. I like to take 5 or 6 varying clips from one series and submit them. Then I'll wait a few weeks and submit 5 or 6 more. And here's my thinking on this. A lot of times when the clips come in, they'll go to the top of the search engine. The search optimization tool will feature them as a new addition to the agency, and it'll put it near the top of the searches. Over time, it might go down. It goes down because maybe some of them didn't sell, or for whatever reason they go down and they're harder to find. Then you release some more. Again, those new ones are at the top of the search engine. And if somebody clicks on one, they'll also link them with the other clips that you submitted before. So what I like to do is submit a series of clips, 5 or 6 at a time, over time. And in that way, I keep my clips in various places in the search engine with the hope that that will end up with more sales in the long run. Do you have any tips that I've missed? If so, write them down below. I learn from you, and I hope that you're finding some value in the content that I'm giving too. If you are finding some value in this content, please give me a like, subscribe, and hit the bell so that you can receive notices to future content. If you're still here with me, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for supporting my channel. I really appreciate it. Good luck selling your stock media, and I hope you have a great day.